Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. It is Friday, and I'm back, baby. 2 days hiatus was not fun, but it's good to be back. So, Dan, I hear I missed Hammer Thursday, and you guys.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we hit the Hammer Thursday, which for those who have never seen the show here before, Yanni was doing a deep dive and found this person who puts out these insane trends and calls it the Wednesday Hammer. So tongue-in-cheek, we came out with the Thursday Hammer. But in true Wager Talk Today fashion, Andy, of course we had to hit the play that was the Thursday Hammer. Yeah, so when we talk hammers, you got to drop it. Yeah, it was the A's first five, and we kind of said we don't really like them the full game because that bullpen's taxed. That's exactly what ended up happening. They get the first five win. We had them on the half a run, but they get the win outright there. So, Andy, I'm pumped to have you back. I know the chat is pumped to have you back. Andy, you were off the grid for a couple days, but Andy's allowed to take off every now and then, folks. Andy is here grinding for you guys for free every single day here. He's allowed to go drive for 24 hours. Certainly wasn't a vacation. Andy, you would have much rather have been on Wager Talk Today than whatever the hell you were doing.
It was not a vacation. I drove from Indianapolis to Louisiana and back, and I did it in 24 hours. I was thinking about spending the night getting a hotel. Nope, hammer down. All right, let's get to free play, and then we gotta make some money for the people. So
let's do it. Wager Talk Today, play of the day, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go to Landry Shamet, who's just had a renaissance since the Knicks picked him up. And it's this point total feels too low, 7.5 points. He was a real weapon for them in game one. I don't see why that would change. Scored 13 points in game one. He played 30 minutes. 3 straight games with 13-plus points. He was 3 of 6 from threes in game one. And on both teams, you're seeing the defenses crash when their point guards get in. So Brunson gets it late. There's going to be open shots. Hart is not scoring the ball. He's rebounding, and Shamet is that three-point shooter that the Knicks really need. And when he plays 30 minutes and he's 3 of 6 from threes, and I'm getting 7.5 points, it just feels a little bit off. So Landry Shamet over 7.5 points. I put this in as a client play and a free play as well. So let's finish the week on this show with a winner.
Let's go, baby. Andy's back, and we're talking props right out of the gate. That's right. NBA Finals Game 2 is coming your way this evening. Teddy Covers is going to be here on the show, breaking it down here for you. And we also are going to have Marco on the show. He's going to talk some baseball games, a little Belmont preview as well. But Andy, let's get right back into it since we have you here. Gianni The Greek is back, baby. And Gianni, we're staying firing, babe. You mentioned we're going back to the well on Carolina. I don't care. We're going back to the well on Carolina. It didn't come easy, Yanni, but it ended up being exactly what we needed, brother. How you doing on a Friday?
Never better. The internet is really bad. My Wi-Fi in the high-rise is terrible. I tried everything, the hotspot, the Palms one, the AT&T, so I'm going to do the best I can. Great day yesterday. So, you can bounce back. Carolina came in for us. Now that series is live. They are now the favorite in that series. So all of a sudden we have some life. But more importantly, just grinding. Went back to grinding, went 6-3 yesterday. Just got to keep moving forward. Now we got a lot today. Game 2 in the NBA. No surprise. Recreational bettors are coming right back with the Knicks, and why shouldn't they? They showed that they have the true number one defense in the NBA by holding San Antonio to 36% shooting at home. So if they can do that again, they're 2-0. But I can tell you, sharp bettors got out immediately ahead of the market on San Antonio. I'm on San Antonio as well. I'll tell you right now, I had to bet it. As soon as the line opened, I sent it out to my subscribers. Money line -215. We did our job. It's up to -240 right now. Probably going to get to 250, 260 before game time. Why? Because it's a great bet. Win or lose, it's a great bet. The market should move in that direction. Why? Because rarely does a team lose a game one in the NBA Finals. It doesn't happen all that often in the history of NBA. But when it does, it's happened 19 times. And 16 and 19 times, a team like the Spurs came back and won game 2. Now, that doesn't mean history has to continue repeating itself, but there is a fundamental reason why that trend should continue. You got home court advantage in the NBA Finals, which means you're probably the best team on paper. You got your back against the wall down 1-0. It's do or die tonight. And on the flip side, you have a Knicks team that pressure's off. They won game 1. You did what you're supposed to do. You get a split in San Antonio. You're in the driver's seat going back to New York. So all the reasoning is why the square side Spurs on the money line is the right side. That's gone now. You can't lay minus 215. You can't lay minus 220. So the question is, do you lay the 240? Do you lay the 250? Or is that value now gone? And do you look through the point spread? Personally, I worry. I think this line's a little bit too high, point spread wise, meaning now you're up there at 6.5. Again, in what was a low scoring game 1 and a total of 216, points are at a premium for an NBA game. I feel a lot better on the Spurs with my money line bet than I would laying that 6.5, even though we know, the points haven't really mattered. We keep hearing that in the NBA Finals. Eventually they do. Points do matter. And that's why I worry about laying the 6 on San Antonio. But like I said, no reason to – I'm not selling the play because the line's gone, but we're on San Antonio tonight. We're on San Antonio on the money line, and hopefully they make a series out of it. We'll see.
Yeah, I agree. I was stunned at the 6.5 number. That you're going to get in front of this Knicks team, but it's hard to imagine. I mean, if you would have said at the beginning of the series, what's the odds that Knicks are going to be up 2-0 in San Antonio? So I have no opinion on the spread on that one. We'll have Teddy break that one down.
Betting it over, and you look at the line, you're going to conclude, oh wait, it got steamed over. But I wouldn't even add that to the steam sheet. And obviously, I have a taping at the UFC today, so I don't have a steam sheet up because I can't add to it. But here's why. Because the bias is towards the overs. Forget what you saw in game 1. The bettors are still going to bet game 2 over. Wise guys know this. So when it opened at 214, when they adjusted off that first game 1 line, I knew we were going to see sharp money come in on the over. Now, are they going to keep that side, or are they going to come back and slam the under? Time will tell. But be real cautious when you see those early moves, because, again, a lot of times it's simply a case of getting out ahead of the public. And in this game tonight, right now, like 8 out of 10 bets are tied into the over. Even bettors that are on the Knicks or the Spurs, they're taking the over. And a lot of money line action on the Knicks tonight. So bettors rolling the dice with the Knicks.
What are we looking at in MLB? Pretty good slate of games. A lot of good pitching matchups. Not too many bums out on the mounds. What are we seeing action-wise?
All right. Pretty big board. I'll read off some of the moves that I saw in the accounts. 956, St. Louis minus 120. 958, Colorado plus 145 and under at 12. They took Detroit plus 115. They have the Yankees at minus 130. Big game there. They went under 8.5. Baltimore, Toronto, under 8. Over 8, forgive me. KC, Minnesota. They took the 120 with Toronto, laid the chalk 165 with Philly, and slammed the under in LA and the Dodgers. Now, they hadn't had the pitcher yet, so it was action. They were like trying to get any under money on that game. It was at 9, at 8, I saw. So, we'll see. I don't know if they've listed it yet for the Angels, but I know when they were betting that was still like undecided. So we'll see.
Let's look at UFC. Kind of an interesting card. There's some matchups that have my attention. This main event screams live bet to me. I find it hard to believe that you would want to get your money down on Bonfim Muhammad unless you really believe in a side. But boy, I would live bet that thing, see if Bonfim's cardio holds up. But what do you like on this card? Anything you really love?
No, here's what's fun. I'll give you a pick I sent out, a 3%. And these are kind of bets I have to place. And long term, I'm profitable. But in my gut, I hate doing it. Meaning, like, if I have to pick the winner, I probably wouldn't pick this side, but I knew I was getting value. And that was on Edmund Shabazian, the co-main event at plus 190. I just thought that line was ridiculous. There was a ton of recency bias on the Brendan Allen side. coming off his win. And it wasn't even a bet on Shabazian, because Shabazian's coming in off 3 straight wins, but those were fights he's supposed to win. You're supposed to beat Muniz. You're supposed to beat Budka. And the Petrosky win, impressive, but Petrosky's now lost 3 straight. So it hasn't, turned out as impressive as it was when he beat Petrosky, because Petrosky was on a winning streak when that happened. So they're not the most impressive wins with Shabazian, but stylistically, the way he matches up with Allen, at least the X's and O's shows some advantages. Like, he's going to have a huge power advantage with his reach. Like, he could make this a fight that's very advantageous for him. It's 3 rounds. If his cardio, if he could get out of that, first round and have something left in his gas tank, this is a very winnable fight. But if I have to pick the winner, I'm picking Brendan Allen. That's the difference between picking a side and betting a side. Like, if I'm betting, I'm only looking for inefficient numbers. It took a long time to get to that point where I could separate the two, but that was it. Like, I saw 190, 195. I'm like, there's no way he should be that high. And I took Shabazian, so we'll see how that turns out. A fight I wanted to bring up real quickly is Ziam and Nolan. At first glance, I thought there was value on Nolan. I was like, wait, this kid's good. He's young. He's got a hot streak. He's very confident. He's coming off a performance bonus and a sub. He's looked good. And why is he getting such plus money here? But when I dug into it, strength of schedule is just not even close. And the way Ziam matches up, usually I would have looked to fade a guy like Ziam. You win, 6 straight fights in the UFC, you're probably not going to win 7 or 8 in a row. It's very hard to do. So I would be looking for spots to fade him. But I just think the hot streak on the other side gives us value actually on this favorite. Rarely am I going to, come out and say, I think there's a ton of value on it, like a minus 300. But I really do think this should be up in that 400 range where he wins the fight, 8 out of 10 times. So I actually think you're getting a little bit of a discount on Ziam. I may be proven to look like a fool by Tom Nolan, who, again, has won 4 straight fights, only 1 loss in the UFC. But I just think there's levels to this game, and Fares Ziam's levels above Tom Nolan right now in their career.
There's value on those. There was a minus 550 fight at BKFC last night. I had 28 cents left in my FanDuel account because every penny in there was on this guy at minus 550. He looked like he was minus 10,000. Like, there's always value if you can find it. If it should be minus 400 and it's minus 250, it's a bet. So I'm with you 100%. I'll give you one I like. I like the under on this Chavez Dubin. Dubin's never been to decision. That's so rare as a woman fighter. Like, she either gets killed or she knocks out the other one. And Chavez, I love the story. Chavez is a former ring girl who made it on Contender Series. You probably remember that fight against Montenegro. It was super bloody, very violent. I think someone goes to sleep, and it's only minus 105. That they're telling you something.
And bettors, they always draw a conclusion like just bet over in female fights, bet over in female fights, bet over in female fight. And that's not true, actually. Like, maybe it's straw weight, 2 out of 3 times the judges don't get involved. But as you move up in weight, surprisingly, there is some value on occasion betting those female fights to go under. I agree there. I like that one. Wow. Yeah, not a bad bet at all. Like you said, she's rarely going to see a second round, let alone a third.
Yeah. Dubin's terrible, by the way. She's awful. Yeah. She landed the one Hail Mary knockout on Contender Series and got out of there. So, all right. Do you have anything else for the weekend before we let you go? Any NHL, anything you got?
We got Steam Room tomorrow, and I got a big NHL bet coming up. Yesterday's game went exactly what we needed to have a nice bet lined up for tomorrow. Steam Room as well for subscribers. My UFC package is up. I'm actually going to tape at Apex. We're doing Saturday's card and next week's White House card, so getting out ahead of the market a little bit. Otherwise, I'll be there. So I didn't put up a package because I'm telling you now, I'm on the Spurs money line. Obviously, that's the side we're on. We'll see what happens. And throw in some baseball for subscribers once I confirm. Best of luck. Have a good weekend. And hopefully we get back to profit. So working hard, baby, working hard. Best of luck to all this weekend.
All right, thank you, Yanni the Greek, getting us started. Dan, you've got a pretty good stat for this series or a trend. What do you see?
Yeah. And it's really, just year over year here in the NBA Finals. It was something that Joe Ranieri mentioned on the show, but we never know if you're tuning in every single day. So when Andy and Yanni were going back and forth there on how do you attack this game tonight, and Teddy Covers is going to give us a breakdown here on this Knicks and San Antonio Spurs matchup. 63-3 is that trend, and it is the team who is winning the game is covering the spread. So what that essentially means here is if you're a Knicks backer, you just take the money line. If you are a San Antonio Spurs backer, this trend, again, Andy, I'm not telling you that's how you bet it. I'm just saying this trend tells you, and a huge sample size to tell you that you can lay the points comfortably with San Antonio if you do like them to win this game. But what does Teddy think about that? We'll find out in a few. Before that, Andy, you're back, baby, and we are loaded this weekend. A time to buy 3 days and get 6 days for the same exact price is right now at WT.buzz/AL, because, Andy, it is going to be a massive weekend for you and the clients.
Yeah, I mean, we got Formula One race at Monaco. We've got NASCAR race, and that just gets us started. We got 2 4% best bets that are up for NBA tonight. You have 2 lacrosse plays up for clients, and we've been seeing it really, really well. We had a rough May, and June has started off incredible. The last 8 to 10 days have really been spectacular. Jan's firing on all cylinders. MLB's on a 10-2 run on props, I believe. So baseball's going well. WNBA, we're up, and the 4% best bets at NBA have been running really well. So a lot of plays this weekend. Buy 3 days, you get 3 free. That's an easy, no decision. Just lock in 6 days for $69. So yes, we're talking the chat. I had to drive to Louisiana and back, and RJ, I'm not insulting RJ because he says it too. Louisiana's rough, man.
You don't like it down by you?
3 times I stopped at a gas station to go inside, and 3 times I just got back in the car. I was like, I'll pass. I'll just keep driving.
You know what? I don't need the beef jerky. I think I can survive without it.
Yeah,
or the alligator jerky you can grab down there, Andy.
I was like, I'll wait till I get to Memphis. So, yes, very, very, very nice people.
And if you're waiting until you get to Memphis, Andy, that's saying something. That is saying something, my friend.
How much gas do I have in the car? Can I make it to Memphis? Yes, there it is. All 3 gas stations, they had bars on the windows and doors. I was like, I'm good. I'm good. I can hold.
You're like, is that to keep people out or is it to keep people in? I don't think I want to find out.
No, I did not. So let's bring in Teddy Covers to talk about it. Teddy, have you ever been to Louisiana? Like the rural part of Louisiana?
So I spent some time in Tunica, which is, and then drove through Louisiana on the way back to Vegas one time. So I've been there, but I cannot say that I have intimate knowledge of the state of Louisiana like you do.
If you drove through it, that's all you needed to see. that was a good experience.
Our ratings in Louisiana are plummeting right now. Absolutely plummeting. Yeah.
You really think they have internet in some of those areas, Dan? Come on, give me a break.
Andy, love.
Sorry. Teddy, I want to get your thoughts on game 2, but first I want to get your thoughts on game 1. What did you see in game 1? What was your takeaway?
Well, the clients and I cashed a winner with the Knicks in game 1, which I was very glad to do, because at various points during that ball game, if you had the Knicks, you weren't real confident with how it was going to go. That being said, they had 3 big runs. They had a big run before halftime. They had a big run in the third quarter, and then they had a big run to close out the game 11-0 in the last 2 minutes of that contest. And it feels, I mean, again, everyone overreacts to everything in the modern era, but it wasn't a scenario in which I looked at the Knicks after game 1 and go, boy, this team's clearly the better squad. The Knicks had big runs. The Knicks' experience mattered a lot, and that could be a big factor again in game 2.
When Brunson left with the knee, it was like,
Sure.
oh no,
Here we go.
please.
It was like Halliburton
Rip
when he
up
got
the
hurt in
ticket.
Game 7. I had a big play in Indiana in Game 7 last year. Then Halliburton got hurt in the first quarter. I had the Knicks, and then Brunson got hurt in the first quarter. I'm like, geez, not this again, And then he came back, but at that moment, what were the Knicks? They were down 14, and Brunson's on the sideline, and we don't know if he's going to be back. And you're like, well, maybe that 2-week layoff was too much. But the Knicks have been, the experience factor, the Josh Hart and Bridges and Brunson having played together and they won 2 championships at Villanova. That matters. And it certainly showed in Game 1. The team chemistry that the Knicks had, the ability that they had to trust each other was real. It was a huge factor in all 3 runs. That, and of course, the Spurs didn't play well.
Yeah, their guards got to be better for San Antonio. I mean, Dylan Harper was by far the best guard for San Antonio. That happens every single game. They're in trouble. Well, let's get your thoughts here. We got Game 2 tonight. Spurs coming in -6.5. There's some 6s out there. Over under 216. I see money a little bit on the under based on DraftKings because that's dropped to 215.5. What's your take on this game?
So I have a 5% big ticket play on this game tonight. The 5% big tickets have been very, very good long term in the NBA. And of course, my NBA Finals now 16-8 over the last 5 years in the NBA Finals, 1-0 so far this season, 5 consecutive winning post seasons. And of course, the big tickets, what do I got? 42-22 over the last 5 years. So I have a very strong opinion about tonight's game. I expect to cash, and we've got a real good track record both in the finals and with the big ticket reports. That being said, I'm going to try to make a case here for the Knicks and for the Spurs, and then we'll talk about the total, which you'll get the free play from for today. But if you're making a case for the Knicks, I mean, you talked about it earlier, Andy. This team's won 12 in a row. It's tied for the second longest postseason winning streak in the history of the NBA. They're on a historic run, and it feels like people are not paying attention, and they're not power rated correctly. And I talk all the time about riding teams when they're mispriced in the markets. Ride them. The Knicks have been mispriced in the markets, and this is a grade A example of how much money you can make with one team that's mispriced for a couple of weeks. And that'd be the Knicks, obviously 11-1 ATS. You talk about that Villanova trio with Brunson, Hart, and Bridges. They're truly unique when you talk about the NBA. That trio is, you don't have multiple players who won titles in college and then all end up on the same NBA team and are competing for titles at the NBA level. That's meaningful. And of course, the Knicks have been dogs 3 times in the playoffs. They've won all 3 of those games straight up. Oh, they've won all 3 of those games by double digits. So they've been pretty good in this role. You're making a case for the Spurs. I mean, look, it's not like they were outclassed in Game 1. They just didn't play well. They missed a bunch of shots they usually make, and the Knicks made a bunch of tough contested looks. Awful loss in the playoffs. The Spurs have responded really well. They've won by 12, 38, 29, 21, and 27 points. 1 loss in the postseason. They're 5-1 in 6 tries, and every win has been by double digits. 4 of the 5 wins have been by 20 plus. So they've been great in this particular role. You read the quotes coming out of San Antonio. I'm just going to read you one. I got a whole bunch of them, but I'll read you one. Wemby, quote, I'll just read the end of it because it's a long quote. But quote, "This is why I'm not worried. We're going to be so much better. I'm going to be so much better. We play bad. When I play bad is when we shoot ourselves in the foot." So there's certainly a case that you can make for San Antonio in this ballgame. There's certainly a case you can make for the New York Knickerbockers in this ballgame. I believe one of those 2 cases is stronger, a lot stronger, and I got a 5% big ticket tonight on the side. We talk about the total, and obviously we've seen an adjustment here. Game 1, 218.5. Game 2, I'm seeing 216s and even 215.5 juiced to the under right now. And at no point in Game 1 was the over in play. The Knicks didn't get the 50 in the first half. The Spurs only got the 40 in the second half. That's not going to cash a whole lot of over tickets. And we're talking about totals. We're talking about 3 basic things. Pace, how fast they're going to go up and down the floor, how many possessions they're going to get, how many opportunities they're going to have to score. Free throws, how many points you're going to get with the shot clock off and no time being run off the clock. and 3-point shooting. When you're draining threes, it's really good for overs. When you're missing threes, it's really good for unders. Game 1 was played fairly fast. We had a 99.5 pace rating. In the postseason, only Minnesota as a team played faster than the Knicks and the Spurs did in Game 1. And it was very clear watching the game, the Knicks do not want to face the Spurs half-court defense. They're looking to run at every available opportunity because once San Antonio's in a half-court, that's not great for any team with Wemby patrolling the paint. The Spurs were the faster team both in the regular season and in the playoffs. They're not shy about them running either. Game 1 was no foul fest. John had only 43 combined free throws. There's plenty of room for more. And, of course, the two teams, one went 11 of 36 from three-point range. One went 11 of 43 from three-point shooting, combined 22 of 29, 28%. So there's room for more three-point shooting, more three-pointers to be made. There's room for more free throws to be made, and we expect pace. So we have pace, free throws, and threes, and the total adjusted downward. I'm looking over for this one. I think the markets have moved the wrong way, and I would expect points and pace in Game 2 in San Antonio this evening.
Great breakdown, Teddy. Can't wait to watch this game tonight. This series and this finals is just clear your schedule. Make sure you watch it.
It is. Game 1 was really entertaining. Worth watching start to finish.
I'm just dreading the Knicks fans if they win. We're never gonna hear. It's just gonna be never gonna let us hear the end of it. So
they've been waiting since 1973. By the way,
that's fair.
Once every 53 years, you should have something to celebrate. And note that even with the Game 1 win, it's not like the Knicks are big chalk in the series. You look at the adjusted series price right now, and it's basically, the Knicks are short favorites, minus 125. It's basically a pick 'em. So it's not like the Spurs couldn't possibly win 4 of the next 6. So tap the brakes. I'm worried about the Knicks fans right now.
They'll always have the liberty, even if they don't win. They'll always have the liberty in 2024. And for what it's worth, they don't play in. Yeah, they don't play in New York, but technically the New York Atlas in the PLL just won last year. So plenty of New York championships that they're hanging in the rafters. And all of the New Yorkers are claiming that Atlas championship. None of them even know it happened. All right, Teddy, let's talk another New York team here, brother. And that is what do we do with the Yankees moving forward over the next, 4 to 6 weeks, as no Aaron Judge going to be in the lineup? And how do you move forward past that? They were able to stave off getting swept, so they look like they were a little shaky since they've been missing him. However, now they take on the Boston Red Sox. You're seeing them as a pretty sizable favorite here, minus 144, when you're talking about one of the best hitters not being in the lineup anymore. Total is at 8. Teddy, how are we betting this one, man?
Yeah, exactly. Minus 140 to minus 150 for the Bronx Bombers at home. Total 8. A couple of books are juiced to the over. Seen 8 minus 15 at a handful of books, both here in Vegas and around the country, and even in the global books as well. So a little bit of over money has come in for this one. And obviously the Yankees without Aaron Judge. He's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks, stress fracture in his rib. They scored 10 runs in 3 games versus the Guardians, 4 less in 4 of their last 5 now without Judge. And we look at what happened the last time. And again, it's a long time ago, but he missed 2 months with a fractured toe in 2023. And the Yankees went 19-23 with him out of the lineup. They finished 82-80 that year and did not make the playoffs. Without Judge, we're talking about Jose Caballero and Max Schumann in right field. Neither of those two are going to make people forget Aaron Judge by any stretch of the imagination. Aaron Boone's quote, he's the best hitter in the sport, so there's a void there. But we also have really good players that can pick it up too. I love the way we played, winning on yesterday, but you're not replacing Aaron Judge, and that's very true. Of course, this is the second series of the season between these two teams. The Yankees swept the first one. They won 4-0, 4-1, and then 4-2. They beat Boston 2 out of 3 in the wild card series last October. 4-0, 4-3, and lost 3-1. Note the last 6 meetings: under, and under. They beat them 2 out of 3 in Boston in September. Cashed 2 more unders in that series. So we've seen the series history here point towards under. It's a recent series history anyway. And Boston has not been scoring. They've been held to 3 or less 4 times in the last 7 games. They've lost them all. They're the single lowest scoring team in the American League this season, the Red Sox are. Only the Padres, in a field where you can't score, and the Phillies, who have not hit well this season, have scored fewer runs full season. Even the Tigers, the Royals, the Giants have scored more than Boston. This is not a team that's hitting. They're coming off another game where they got held to 3 runs or less yesterday. The 34th time that's happened. And that game was over literally in the top of the first inning when Bello got lit up for 6 runs, demoralizing for the Red Sox. It's not like Chad Tracy's made a big difference for Boston. You know, they're 16-18 under Chad Tracy. Ooh, we fired the manager, and the new manager is just as bad. From a pitching standpoint today, certainly we have Sonny Gray on the one side, and Sonny Gray, who's been really good since coming off the hamstring injuries. He came off the IL, 4 wins and 5 starts with an ERA of 2 during that span. Dominated Cleveland in his last outing. Ryan Weathers has pitched fairly well. He saw 10 strikeouts last time out, but he was unlucky in terms of BABIP in that ball game, batting average on balls in play, and the Yankees ended up losing to the Athletics 6-4 in that contest. Nonetheless, we trust Gray, we trust Weathers. We're looking under in this ball game, and I wouldn't argue with an under first 5. You can find 4.5 at -120. I wouldn't argue with a full game under 8, and you can even get that at reduced juice right now. But let's call the official play under first 5, 4.5 -120. 2 starters we want our money on, 2 lineups we don't.
Teddy covers WT.buzz /TC is where you can find him. Teddy, we alluded to the plays that you'll be rocking with tonight, a 5% big ticket that is up, and those have been can't miss action for you. And sure, Teddy, they can buy a play, but with the deals that are over at your page, man, why the hell are you buying just a play? So tell them about what they'll find over there, man, and the specials they can take advantage of.
Sure. And realistically, I talk about it all the time. Do not buy plays. If you want to partner up, let's partner up and make some money. You know, we've got a great deal right now. 3 to buy 3 days, get free 3. All right. Reasonably priced. We got a great deal right now. Every play through till football season starts. You know, that's a phenomenal deal. If you want, we've got every play every day for the next 12 months discounted right now. They're all available. They're all reasonably priced. Check it out, WT.buzz /TC. And if you don't like me, buy somebody else. Get Andy, get Dan, get Marco coming up, get Gianni. We've got quality cappers who know how to win long-term. Check it out, WagerTalk.com. And check out my 5% tonight at WT.buzz /TC.
Teddy, best of luck, my man. Cash that ticket tonight. We'll talk to you next week. And until then, keep cashing those tickets. Appreciate you, Teddy. Thank you, man.
Peace.
There we go. Ooh. Teddy covers. So what a great plea that not only obviously check out the 5%er, but reminding you we have a stable of cappers. So whatever sport you're looking to get an edge on, we got the guy just for you, especially if you want cricket, Andy. You can get it with Andy, WT.buzz /AL. Andy, I noticed we're all blued up. You got the blue shirt on, blue light on. I'm blue. We'll see. Is Marco going to continue the trend here, man?
Blue dabba dee ba da ba da dee.
We don't want to go too long, or we're going to get hit with a copyright. And we just got to 250,000 subscribers. We got hit with a copyright strike. Johnny might murder us. So probably only one dabba dee dabba die. We hit our quota.
Okay, Tattered asks about a parlay. 6 legs in one NBA game. Listen, man, I'm out. Once you say 6 legs in an NBA game, that's not how I think you make money with same game parlays. I limit it to 2, maybe 3 legs. I do a show called The Prop Line. It's on this channel where I do a same game parlay every day. And we've been doing really good in the NBA playoffs, and it's just 2 or 3 legs. So you need everything to go right on all of these overs. Nobody can get hurt. There can't be any foul trouble. The game script has to be perfect. So I'm not into 6-leg parlays. If it's not a way to build the bankroll, I am a stickler. I don't just throw out pizza money, little sprinkles for fun. That's just not me. So I am out on this play. I don't bet to have a little action on the game. Like I bet to win money. It's a business for me.
Yeah, no, this is a job for sure. Now, as far as like the individual pieces on this, they all make sense, sure. But like Andy said, every single leg that you are throwing onto this parlay, you have just made it that there's going to be one that doesn't hit, right? Even when you're talking about a 3-leg parlay, you need 3 things to go perfectly right. And you're already fighting an uphill battle, especially when you're taking things that are closer to that plus money. It is already statistically and odds expectation and market expectation, you're already putting yourself behind the 8 ball. So Tattered, if it's pizza money, if it's entertainment money for you, sure. Throw a 6-piecer in, throw it into the group chat, and then when it hits, you can tell your buddies, look at what I just did. When it doesn't hit, your buddies will rip you in the group chat. If you're throwing these same game parlays together, Andy has proved with client plays with that, 3 pieces. You're getting better odds. You're getting true odds when you're talking about 2 pieces. I call them little bikini parlays because who doesn't love a 2-piece, Andy? And when you start talking 3 pieces, that's when you start to lose me.
What in the hell is going on the show?
You don't like the bikini? A little bikini, a little 2-piece. Everybody loves a 2-piece. It's summer, Andy.
Bikini parlays. All right.
Kind of nice.
Can I do the corniest segue ever here? Get ready, Marco. Here we go. Yes, we have a good stable of handicappers at WagerTalk. Speaking of stable, that's where the horses are for the Belmont. Bang!
Marco?
What's happening? You were talking 2-piece and blue was the theme today. I didn't have enough time, but if I'd had a couple extra minutes, I was going to run and put on my blue Speedo for today's show.
Oh man, that's one way to congratulate the 250th subscriber. Here's Marco in a Speedo. I'm gonna take the no of there being a Speedo in your wardrobe, Marco, for minus 10,000, and I think that's a little short.
It was worth making Andy half choke.
I have to jump in here real quick. Be careful about saying stuff like that, Marco. I can make a photo of you in a blue Speedo on AI here in about 15 seconds. I will not do that because I value my employment at WagerTalk. Dan, I'll let you take Marco.
By the way, guys, we want to thank everybody for the 250,000 subscribers that we have. I wasn't able to have time to check it, but I think we lost 20 people from Louisiana in that first segment. But we'll get them back, I'm sure.
Yes, all 20 people with internet connection. We'll get them back. We'll be able to work that out, Marco. All joking aside, huge weekend for you and the clients as well, Marco, because the Belmont Stakes is here. We're going to talk Mets and Padres, and we're also going to talk a little Battle of LA coming up here for you. But first things first, Marco, with 250,000 subscribers, there's probably a bunch of new viewers checking us out here as well. With the Belmont Stakes this weekend, for you new viewers, as a big thank you, we have a code that you can take advantage of. So let's talk a little Belmont. And Marco, while you are, let them know about this code that for a little $2 play, you can get all the action this weekend, and that is for new users only, Marco.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys, you want to talk about a fun-filled weekend for me. Saturday is going to be absolutely nuts for me here in Vegas. Here's my schedule. I'm going to do last call with Kelly on Saturday. We'll be talking Belmont, maybe give you a couple other horses as well. Check out my Belmont package. You talked about the coupons. We've got 2 specials. If you've never bought anything from WagerTalk, this is the great time to introduce yourself to WagerTalk. You can get my Belmont package on Saturday. Now, what does that include? Well, it includes any race that I use on the Saturday card, the Belmont, which is going to be raced at Saratoga this year for the final time while Belmont's being renovated. But you'll not only get all of my horse racing plays, you're also going to get my sports plays. And guys, last 4 months, we're up 44 units for the clients with all of our plays. Those horse racing plays, and, we joke about it all the time that when we get to the Triple Crown season, if you go to gambling Twitter or go to YouTube, there are everybody's an authority this time of the year on horses, okay? Guys, I've owned, raced, and bred horses since 1986. Okay. So when it comes to talking horses, I do know what I'm talking about. And we've got coverage for Saturday. Now, I teased you about my Saturday. Everybody says they love the Vegas life. Well, after I do last call, I'll be heading over to Mandalay Bay because we've got an Aces game on Saturday. I'll be catching the Aces at 12 o'clock. And hopefully there'll be no overtime so that I can run from the Michelob Ultra Arena into Mandalay Bay to the sports book so that I can catch the Belmont Stakes on Saturday. And when to watch that, I'll be watching the early races on my phone during the Aces game. But then after that, we've got a game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals. That's a full Saturday here in Vegas, guys, and I'm looking forward to it. I love all of the action. The city will be a buzz. And yesterday, we actually even had an earthquake. My house shook. It hit like 4 miles from where we live here in Summerlin.
Whew, Marco, all that running on Saturday, that's how you look so damn good in a Speedo. Now we know. Now we know the secret. And folks, Marco mentioned that Belmont too. If you're not a new client, don't worry. We got you hooked up as well. You can use code Belmont10. I'm throwing it on the scroll there below. Belmont10 will get you $10 saved on that card. All right, Marco, let's talk some actual action here tonight. Mets and Padres is where we're going to kick it off here. Marco, thoughts here on what should be a pretty interesting series. I know Mets fans or New York fans might not even know the Mets are playing because there might be a little other game going with teams that share the same colors. But in case you are looking for some baseball action, Marco, how do you suggest attacking this one?
Well, the Mets, should we call them the Mets or Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde? Because you never know what's going to happen, but it's generally a run. It's either a run of losses or runs of wins. And they've put together a 7-game stretch here where they've won 5 of 7 games. Now, I'm looking at this one. They're going to be playing the Padres, who things can't get much worse. They've lost 5 in a row, 9 of their last 10. And they don't catch a break from the schedule makers either. They played yesterday, Thursday afternoon in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. The schedule maker didn't show them any love. And then they had to travel back to the West Coast to play tonight. Well, the Mets got to enjoy the day off yesterday. So they got to hang out, in beautiful San Diego. Love that city. Love that ballpark. I think the San Diego ballpark is second only to PNC. Yes, I'm biased, but if you ask anybody that's a baseball enthusiast, they put that in the top 3 or 4 ballparks. So if you ever get a chance, check it out. I'm going to go ahead and look at the Mets in this situation. Everything is in their favor. Not only are the Padres struggling, obviously going 1-9 in the last 10 games, but when you look at those 10 games, they've been held to 3 runs or less in 7 of the 10 games. If you're not scoring runs, guys, it's tough to win ball games. They're going to be facing Christian Scott for the Mets, who's coming off his 2 best games of the year. He's allowed just 1 run in his last 2 starts, which spanned 10 2/3 innings, and his strikeout to walk ratio 13-4. On the flip side to that, the Padres send Michael King to the mound. He's allowed 8 runs over his last 2 starts. That was 9 2/3 innings of work. But the bigger alarming red flag for me is the strikeout to walk ratio. He only had 6 strikeouts to 5 walks. Not good. I'm going to go ahead and look at the Mets here. And here's a little stat on Michael King. When he starts for a game and he is installed as a home favorite of -150 or less, what we're looking at tonight, just his team's just 4-11 in his starts over his career. Let's go ahead and take the Mets tonight to grab game 1.
Taking the Mets. I like it. A little plus money to kick off the double play that Marco has here for you. Let's talk Battle of LA. Yesterday on the show, Marco, we kind of cautioned people, hey, no Shohei in the lineup for the Dodgers. Maybe tread a little lightly. D-backs may have been live. We end up cashing that ticket for the folks, so happy about that. But it looks like Shohei should be back in the lineup. Major favorites here. Not surprising. For what it's worth, too, Sasaki, who started the season pretty rough, kind of changed his pitching rotation, added a splitter in, and since that point, the ERA has been coming down a little bit here. So you're seeing them about a $2 favorite. Shop around, you can get a little less. What do you think, Marco? Split this game in half? Is that the way you think we should attack it?
Well, I'm looking at it, and the Angels, they have not officially named a starter yet tonight, so you might end up with the old bullpen type game. But, you're right. The Dodgers, that was the getaway game last night. Looking at them, and Ohtani, coming off pitching the night before, so he deserved the day off, and rightfully so. But the Dodgers, you talk about this team, even with last night's loss, they're 16-5 the last 21 games. And with Ohtani out of the lineup, they only lost 3-2. They were in that game the whole way. The Angels obviously do hold a little bit of a schedule advantage because they were off yesterday while the Dodgers played in Arizona. But unlike what I mentioned in the previous game, flying back home from Arizona to LA is a little different than flying back home from Philadelphia to San Diego. So I don't see that being a problem for the Dodgers tonight. And you look at this and what you said about Sasaki, he has been razor sharp over his last 3 starts. He's allowed just 4 runs total while posting a strikeout to walk ratio. I love that stat, 19-3. When you're doing that and putting up those kind of numbers on the strikeouts to walks, that to me is the best indicator. You can use all of the advanced metric numbers that you want to use. If you're striking out that many people, that tells me you have full command of your entire arsenal and you're fooling the hitters. And that's what you want to see. Now, the one caution I will say about that is in those last 3 games with those stats that we had, Sasaki is going to be pitching against the Angels for a second time in a matter of 3 weeks. And we've talked about it a lot that teams, pitchers first time around the league have the advantage over the hitters. When they start to see him 2, 3, 4 times down the road, it starts to change. But the Angels, I just don't see them getting enough runs here. I don't think that he's going to have the dominant performance that he had in the first meeting. It'll be a little bit less, but I still think the Dodgers are the much better lineup at this point. They're playing better. And with the questionable pitcher for the Angels and what they've been giving up recently, I'm going to go ahead, take the Dodgers. I don't want to lay that big number, though. So what do we do to bring that price down? Well, we go to the first 5 innings and we lay a half a run. And by doing so, we're going to get this down to minus 125, a much manageable number for me. I have tolerance. Some people are lactose intolerant. I have a big juice intolerance. Okay. So I want to find ways not to risk a lot of money to win money. And that's where we're going to go here and do it first 5 minus a half a run for the second play. And hopefully, guys, we can do what we did last week on the show and go 2-0 again for you guys with the free plays.
And sure, the LA Angels have been decent, at least in their last outing in the first 5. LA Dodgers are the best team in the league in the first 5 as far as runs scored average. So love the thought process there, Marco. Huge weekend. As we mentioned, folks, use that code Belmont10. That's a way to save $10 on the package. And Marco, correct me if I'm wrong, what you're going to do this weekend is give folks access to the Belmont, and they can also grab the plays that you're going to be running place from place to go see as well. So whole weekend of action you can grab from Marco for one great price. Correct, Marco?
That is correct. And when I get done doing this show, what's up next? Well, that's the deli. The deli will be open. We'll have game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I'll break that down for you on the deli. We'll also have some WNBA action. WNBA has been absolutely on fire for me. I did technically lose a play last night, but this is the way we do things at WagerTalk. I put the number up overnight, and every time I seem to do that, I get burned on the number because I put out Golden State last night at plus 2.5, ended up being, when I woke up in the morning, it was 3.5 across the board. I had them plus 2.5, and of course, you know where the game landed, 3. So, but the good news is for me, it was a loss for the records. For everybody that woke up to get the play Thursday morning, they got a winner plus 3.5. But it's graded as a loss for us. And guys, we're hitting 65% over 2+ years in the WNBA. So I can live with that loss last night.
Yeah, and a great point there, Marco. We always say, hey, what we put in, what we're able to bet, that's what you clients are going to get, and that's what we grade our records at. Sometimes it helps us out. Other times, hey, you end up with a loser, but hopefully those clients that woke up, they cashed with you, Marco. But integrity is the name of the game for us at WagerTalk. So loss for Marco, hopefully a win for you, Marco. It'll even out. There's going to be, especially come football, there's going to be a couple threes that land a different way for you and your clients, Marco. Appreciate you, man. Enjoy the weekend. Always a pleasure.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks, Marco. No tan lines needed for Marco D'Angelo. Speedos only, Andy. Speedos only.
So we have to talk about this. Block just brought it up. And yeah, this is breaking news. The Bears are moving to Hammond, Indiana. I am stunned. I like flabbergasted. I got to be honest though. I live in Indiana. I don't like this. This sucks. This is. I was actually kind of proud of the Chicago board for like when are we going to stop giving these owners everything? Like these guys are billionaires and we get to pay for their stadium so they can use it and make all that money. Like when's enough? Like how? And by the way, that stadium in Hammond, Indiana isn't going to do anything. They play 9 games there. What's that going to do? Have you been to Hammond?
No, and I probably don't plan on going to Hammond anytime soon, Andy. Unfortunately,
it makes Cleveland look like Dubai. It's like this isn't good. See here's so this is the thing. I'm on the other side of this. What you're saying that the Chicago leadership, I'm actually kind of glad they did it. I hate that my state is now going to fork over all the money for it. I don't know, man. I just know where I live in Indianapolis, the year that we built our stadium that we have currently, we closed 3 schools because we said we didn't have funding for them, and we came up with $1 billion for the stadium. They spent $300 million on a retractable roof. They used it so infrequently, it's rusted shut. It doesn't work. I don't know, man. I think this is a terrible situation for nobody wins. Like literally,
here's the thing:
wins.
is like the Chicago Bears finally became, after years and years and years of just being mediocre, they finally became a team that like people want to get behind. People want to go to Soldier Field. People want to go to Historic Field, and now they're like, nope, we're moving out. Basically, the Bears leadership bluffed their way into this. You know what I mean? So now this is the reality. So it's and here's this is exactly what I was going to say, Robert. It's the fans who really lose. It's the fans who for years bought season tickets, paid the seat licenses, all that good stuff. It's always the fans that lose in this. And that's why, the owners bluffing themselves into this. You can look at it either way. Chicago leadership, they're the ones who suck. Taxpayers shouldn't pay for these, like bar none. You know what I mean? Like, what do you as a taxpayer get out of a big stadium being built? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You get traffic. That's what you get.
In Hammond, Indiana. Where's the Super Bowl this year? Hammond.
That'll happen.
It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Oh, well. I mean, is this the ultimate Madden curse? It comes out Caleb Williams on the cover of Madden.
And then they're like, you don't even play in Chicago anymore. That's what, I will say that the H on the helmet won't look as iconic as that C. The H isn't. It's going to look like a Houston helmet. No, they wouldn't change the Hammond Bears.
What's the C stand for? Where we used to play. Like this is insane.
I mean,
man.
people will make the argument though. You have the Jets and the Giants who play in New Jersey, but you know that's a different situation.
That's 100% completely different. I
All of
cannot
them are,
believe that this
Rob.
is a
All
thing.
of them are. Two things can be true. Sure, two things can be true. It's still the fans who are standing there holding this bag of shit. You know what I mean?
We finally get a good quarterback, and now we can't even keep the team in our own state. It's wild.
Yep.
So, a couple things here, Dan. I forgot to check the chat for Tuesday because I was too busy driving. But Rob and Mark, they showed us their dingers, and they hit.
They did. They did show us those dingers, Andy. Whether we liked it or not, they showed us those dingers.
Congratulations, guys! Impressive dingers from Rob and Mark. Very impressive. So.
Well done out of you. That is for damn sure.
So somebody commented they're from Louisiana and that I should give them. I think I should give them a free day
because we shit on them.
Because I ripped them, and so I'm serious. Put in the chat. Pick a couple bets that you like. I'll go head to head with you. If you win, 3-day flex pass coming your way. But you got to put them in there because we're doing a couple.
Comment below. Comment with the WagerTalk username. Andy will go head to head with whatever side you want, and then we'll give you some free 3-day flex passes if you win.
Okay. Well, let's do all around the world. Let's give you guys a couple free plays here.
Let's do it.
I really like this under here. I went over it with Yanni. I think this is one of the rare times that a women's fight is a no-brainer to go under. Dubin, like I said, has never gone the distance. She's not very good. She has no striking defense. And Chavez, I can't believe the story of Chavez. She was literally a ring girl and was like, I think I can do that. And like trained and won one of the bloodiest women's fights in Contender Series history, got knocked down several times, got back up and won a split decision. And now she's fighting. And I think I see KO coming. Whoever you like to win this fight, I think you take the KO. So this is a Ralph Michaels special, Nerfy for the Angels and the Dodgers. We talked about this game, but Ralph has some pretty good stats here. Detmer's 9-3 Nerfy with a 4.76 ERA, but his road ERA is better. Sasaki 9-1 Nerfy. That's crazy. He hasn't been that good. 9-1 Nerfy, 2.16 ERA in his last 3 starts. Angels' last 2 games have gone under, and the Dodgers are on a 5-1 Nerfy run. So that's what Ralph Michaels likes. So
I love it.
Yeah. All right, man. We got a huge weekend of plays. So those are all over at WagerTalk, WT.buzz/AL. I am going to watch the game tonight and take one of the best nights of sleep I've ever had because, man, I need it.
That sounds glorious.
I need it. So, all right. Good luck on your plays tonight, Dan. Those have already been sent out to subscribers for lacrosse.
Love it.
And, I messaged Dan about this. How cool is it? So our BKFC live streams have just been like a hit. Like they're awesome.
Nice.
And last night we had we've had a BKFC fighter that is joining us like in the chat, and he's got a fight July 3rd. He said he'd come on the show and talk about it.
Let's go.
And promote it. So yeah, Prince Nice.
Let's go. We're gonna have a bare knuckle fight club guy on the show. I love this. A true bare knuckle fighter.
Yes. Yep, we're gonna. Yeah, his name's Prince Niceem. He sent me an email, agreed to do it. So when we get closer to the fight, we're gonna have our first bare knuckle fighting. I'm so excited.
We might become the flagship BKFC, and these are the months to do this kind of stuff, right? We're not gonna have the bare knuckle fighting club guy on when we're talking NFL football, but in the summer. Hell yeah, we're going to have Prince Niceem here on the show. We also did, Andy, we got your head-to-head here. So Mars Perspec, he likes the Nat game over 8.5, and the Giants first 5 in MLB. Either one of those you want to go head-to-head with, Andy? Nat game over 8.5 or Giants in the first 5? Which one you want to go head-to-head on, Mars?
It's been a bad day for Chicago. They're playing the Cubs. not a good day. So I actually like this. I like your angle on the Giants. So I will take the under
Under.
on.
Okay.
I'll take the under on the Nationals. Who's pitching? Griffin and Kelly. Ooh,
Yikes.
this year you're not in a good spot if you're betting on Merrill Kelly. But I will trust that these bats go a little bit cold and the pitchers do well. So I'll take the under. So if you hit the over, free 3-day flex pass coming your way. All right.
You got to comment your WagerTalk username or we can't send it to you. And comment below, folks, what you're betting on this weekend.
Right.
Andy, it's great to have you back, man. Like you said, 2 PLL plays that are at Andy's page right now. We have another one that's going tomorrow. So 3 lacrosse plays for you. We're looking to get back on the horse here, Andy. We cashed last weekend. Let's do it again here, Andy. And that's not all you're getting. WT.buzz/AL. Buy 3 days, get 6 days for free. That's the way to bet Andy's plays this weekend. WT.buzz/AL. Let's have a weekend, Andy.
All right, there's the username. I got you locked in, brother. I got you locked in. I'm typing it in right now. Dan, take us away. I'm typing his name in right now.
I will take us away. Thank you for tuning in, folks. Andy is back. We'll be back on Monday. Last call coming your way at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Also, if you are a member, you can get the Steam Room at noon. Until next time, best of luck on your plays. For Andy Lang, I'm Dan.